Good evening, Black Cats TV here with some transfer news. So the first one I want to address is outgoing. Because for a while now, we've had teams saying, people saying, oh, people are going to be after Rig, people are going to be after this, that, and the other. One that's come up that I found was Leeds are tracking Sirkin to the point they had somebody at our last game watching him. The last game where he scored a screamer.
Yeah, well, they can sod right off. I know from when we signed him, I think something like Spurs have I don't want to say it's like a first refusal on him, but I'm sure there's something in there. Like
he was another Spurs under 21s, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure they had a buyback option for like 6 million.
That's usually got a time for him on it, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know more than that. I remember at the time that was what they touted about, and of course he's had a few injuries with us over the years, so obviously it just sort of got lost in the ether. Yeah. But I think Spurs will have some sort of first refusal before we get to anybody else.
I mean, that might be a bad thing because if Spurs can get him that cheap, what do you think is?
What would you? They can sell him.
Yeah, what price point would you put on him if someone like Leeds are coming in for him?
Because it's a promotion rival, if they come in January, I'd be asking for pretty much what we got for Clark, if not more. But that's also putting on tax for them being league rivals of ours and not wanting to lose one of our best players in the January window.
Do you think Sirkin would want to go? It's another championship team, right?
I don't. I mean, unless there's some sort of family link or supported them, I don't see why he would pick Leeds over us when he's doing well for us. He's playing his best football at the moment under us and Lebris, so I don't see why he would jump ship. It's a bit of a different thing if a Premier League team came in for him and was saying, actually, yeah, you'll start for us, and this is where you be. That's a bit different, but I just don't see the attraction of Leeds United over Sunderland.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I might be biased, but I like Leeds. I like Leeds. I've got no problem with Leeds. I think they're a great club, lots of history, big club, but I don't see the reason to jump ship from first to third or whatever they are.
Yeah, well, another one that came in this week was that Forest were interested in Rig and Watson. Now, I could see Watson... I could see us letting go of him in January if somebody came in with a sensible bid. It's not like he looks good, but it's not like we're losing a great player or anything like that if it was a good enough bid.
Yeah, he's not burst onto it yet, and what we saw against Preston in 60 minutes, I was a bit like, okay, like it's still going to take some time for you to fully sort of
He's got a lot of development time, yeah.
So, yeah, if someone came in with like a decent-ish sort of bid for him, and like we were talking about in a previous video of ours, the money is pure profit for him because he's an academy player, of course. There, Rig to Forest, I don't. I mean, it's not that I don't see it; it's because it's a Premier League team, of course, and I think they'll be looking for if we get him, we can then sell him on in the future for even more there, of course. But I think it's just the way he's been playing and what we know he's capable of. I think he deserves to go to pretty much teams right up there at the top.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's Forest's finances like. I mean,
I know they were doing all sorts of deals with other teams about goalies and players over the summer, and balancing their books and things like that. When they bought Henderson from Newcastle and sold their goalie for 10 million, who's never going to get a game at Newcastle.
Yeah. Expenditure Forest has been 107 million euros so far. Overall balance minus 20 million. So I don't think when people have said that Man United and stuff like that have been tipped to be interested in him, we'd have to demand a huge price tag, right, for Rig. He looks like a future absolute sensation. He would have to go for more than Clark. I'm sorry, Clark was brilliant, but I'd probably rate Rig as a more potential superstar than Clark.
Look at Alex Scott was it Bristol City, went to Bournemouth for 25 million, and I think Rig looks twice the player that Alex Scott was doing at Bristol City and at a younger age than Alex Scott was doing. So we've got every right to sit there and go, actually, we want this much money for him.
$100 billion.
Well, the only way I would even consider taking anything less than 25 is if we had like absolute worldy sell-on clauses for him of like, we'll take 50% of the next transfer fee and, you know, and things like that, where you sort of think, well, actually, we've got a decent amount and we've got a potential payday in the future for him as well, because he's clearly quality and he's clearly going all to the top.
How crucial do you think it is staying first and second place in this league, rolling into January, to keep these players? Because that could sway them, right? Because they've got the chance of Premier League football next season if they stay as well.
They do. I'm hoping that they've got some sensible people advising them. I know there's always the rumour that Riggs' dad's a Geordie and, you know, wants him over there and what have you. But I don't see, you know, if your son's playing week in, week out football and looking class for it, I think you just let him get on with it, don't you? And the teams will come in from
right.
themselves.
If he went to Newcastle in January, he wouldn't get a look in for a year.
No, exactly. But he could do. He could easily force his way in. But yeah, like you say, they'd be like, all right, well, let's train you out for a little bit and do. And it's like, I think he could easily walk into teams. I said to me mate the other day who supports Arsenal, I said, he wouldn't be a miss for your team playing in that midfield. I really think he would. You know, granted, it's a bit of a step up to the Premier League, but I think he'd adapt to it, and I think he would thrive and develop under it. Bellingham's clearly got a really strong family support with him, and because his brother's done a similar route to him, he's very grounded and knows what he wants and knows his development. That's why I was saying, and again in a previous video of ours, he's not going to be here forever. You know, it's very much we're using his time now to further ourselves, and when he goes, that's when we benefit from it as well. But ideally, we get promoted and he comes with us, of course.
Yeah, and it becomes a Premier League star for Sunderland. That would be the ideal, right?
With Rig.
With Rig alongside.
And Sirkin.
It is nice to see they've got a camaraderie in the dressing room, and you see them getting along on videos outside of off the field as well. And it does look like the dressing room's a really good place at the moment, so that works in our favour. Are you worried about losing anybody in January? Anyone you can realistically see going?
I think as long as
Liverpool was one, wasn't it?
I just don't see it at the moment. I think the ones that were closest were, I think, Neil and Sirkin, and that's because their contracts are up not this summer, next summer. And I think we have club options on both of them to extend for a further year. But that's when you start to sort of get the murmurings, a bit like we had with Clark and Ian Hart, where they're like, oh, well, actually, we want out at this point, and, you know, we've been told this, that, and that's when you start to get it. So if we can tie them two down for a bit longer, I think that'll do us good. But I don't think we're in any rush with them, because we're not stupid like we were in the past, where we'd let a player get 6 months to the end of his deal and then start talking to him. We're very good at being like, we've got 18 months on this guy with a backup year if we need it. We'll start talking to him soon. And if he doesn't engage, we'll engage the clause anyway.
Should we be trying to offload at the start of January as well, players like Barr and things like that, and Rusin, to try and generate some sort of funds to
just to balance the books? You know, give us some wages if back if we needed to. Barr can go. I think, you know, like you said, Rusin can go as well. Hello, cat. It's a black cat. Hey, you know, players that are just not going to play, like Triantis. Like, I know he's on loan anyway, but is Seal's going to get a look in now? We've got Mepham, Ballard, 09, Elise. No, he's probably not. You know, and like you say, Tommy Watson, are we going to miss him? No, because
I don't see the need to quickly sell. If somebody comes in with an offer, take it. But there's no need to quickly sell him.
There's no need to be pushing him out the door.
He's good in the youth team. He's good in the youth setup, and he's developed.
There's no need to be forcing him out the door. But if an offer came in, you would listen.
Yeah, I just think we need to sell some of the crap to get some players that we want on the bench, because I'm sick of seeing a Sunderland bench where there's 3 youth players I've never heard of on there just to make up numbers. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Incoming then. Incoming. So, no one's signed. Nobody's really, like, there's no major big news, but rumours are still going around. So, you said Henderson, right?
I saw Henderson again this week. I didn't mean I met him personally. I saw who the rumour was doing the rounds. My mate James Copley at the Echo was saying about how that he'd said he'd take a significant pay cut to come back to Sunderland, just because he wants to end his career here and he wants to, you know, help us get back into the Premier League. And I think his words, by the sounds of it, yeah. which is, through sources and stuff. It's not like he came out in the middle of an Ajax press conference and went, I want to go to Sunderland. And it's sources through sources through sources who knows somebody whose dog, did this. His experience, I think, would be really helpful for a promotion push, just leadership-wise in general. And him, if we did have moments where Riggs suspended, Job suspended, injuries, Brown, Neil, in and out, if he was to pick up a knock or get rotated out, unlikely, but if he did, another midfielder, because if anything, at the moment, we're actually short on central midfielders. Is one thing that we seem to be very short, considering we play 3 of them and we only have 4 fit at the best of times anyway. I think it would be a no-brainer to bring somebody like Henderson in just for his experience, even if he's not a starter.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me if I was him. I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. If he's looking towards the end of his career, if he's got a season left in him, maybe 2 at most, coming here, his boyhood club, it's not just a case of I've ended my career at the place I love. He's got the option to go into coaching, to start getting his badges whilst working at Sunderland. His step into career management could start from Sunderland.
And then we get the next Jurgen Klopp as manager.
Potentially, but you know what I mean? He could start with his coaching badges. This could be the making of his managerial career, unless he wants to go and sit with Jamie Carragher and try and figure out what he's saying on Sky Sports or whatever.
Who knows? No, I think he's a no-brainer as well. Did you say you had another incoming as well for January?
I didn't, but I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I'm going to play this. This is Sunderland Stand, a Sunderland fan channel I found on TikTok, and it's the home of the Wearside Wafflers podcast, which I love that name. So I'll give credit to them and I'll put them on the screen, and I'll even link their channel. They're on YouTube as well. But this is what one of their guys said.
Ahmed Diallo to Sunderland in January. Telling you now.
January?
Yeah, I'm telling you now. He's coming on loan. Mandatory fee if we get promoted. See you in Jan.
Speakman, get your phone.
Like we've not had enough Ahmed Diallo rumours.
I'm not living in that again. I'm not doing it to myself. I'll just go. No, I don't see Diallo.
Beekman knows that the fans want him. I have no doubts he kind of made moves for him in the last.
We definitely every summer since every window since we've definitely gone. Like is he available? We've definitely done that.
But he's not getting game time.
Well, he is under Van Nistelrooy. He is. He got 2 assists the other day, and he had a decent effort that either came back off the post or was saved. He did play against Leicester, and he did play really well. I think he played in Europe, and he got 2. It was either Carabao or Europe, and he scored twice. So
you think that's out the window?
Because I was winding my mate up with Sportsman United, going, "Oh, he's coming back." January, we're just going to sneak in.
At least we get to put Ahmed Diallo on a thumbnail. That's
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's all this piece is about.
yeah. No, I really want him to, but no, he isn't. No. Unless Amarin, I think that's what he's called, the one at Man United, really doesn't take to him and doesn't start using him, then potentially we'd loan him again. I don't see us buying him because I think he'll want to wait until summer to review his whole team at Man United rather than jumping into decisions in January.
Yeah. So let's talk more realistic then.
Mbappe.
We fell in love with a lone player again.
Yes, Chris Mepham.
Yeah, well, you're right, but I'm talking about Isidore. Whoa, what's an Isidore?
Put your video up there that you did before.
Go on the shorts if you want to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's that work? Because we're hearing rumours that it's an option to buy for 9 million. It's an option to buy 3.5 million. Now, I'm not concerned about how much it is. I think he's worth it. I think if it's under 10 million, he's a bargain. Get him. Snap him up. However, he's from FC Zenit. Yes?
He's one of the clubs in Russia.
We have sanctions against Russia. And FC Zenit itself is owned by an energy company, which is a state-owned energy company. So it's not just a case of it's private owners that happen to play out of Russia. This is a signing from the Russian state. So how the hell does that work? And can we do something like that? Can
Well,
we get that across the line?
The other way of looking at it is you're telling me that they, out of the goodness of their hearts, just said, you know what, you can go to Sunderland for a year. We'll pay all your wages, and they don't even need to offer us a fee. Are you telling us that's how he's playing for us now?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
No.
But when
So
this
then we
arrangement
clearly
was made, there was less sanctions, and there's even more sanctions now.
I think it was the same thing. It's the same thing as before. You can't do this to Russia. You can't do that. We've given money somehow for him to be here now.
Yeah.
And unless something else goes massively awry with Russia, there'll be a way through it.
Can we just keep him? Because Russia's got no comeback on it. Well, you don't want to. Don't test them. Don't test them. What started World War III?
Isidore. Wilson Isidore.
It's a good point, because people have raised it that, like, how does that work with business in Russia? And I haven't got the answer. I genuinely haven't. It was just a curious, like, could that be the scupper? So you think a deal's already in place?
I think so. And, you know, there's no way we've paid nothing for him now as a loan fee, or not even a little bit of something on his wages. And we're just sort of, they're doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. We've clearly done something now, so there's a way through. So there's a way. And if they knew about the sanctions then, they wouldn't have gone. They can clearly go, well, this was in place before you agreed to do that, like before these other sanctions came in. Or even if not, they're clearly talking about an agreement, so they know there's a way it can be done. It'll be fine if it needs to be done.
If he's 9 million, would you pay it?
Yes, because we'll be in the Premier League and it'll be a bargain.
Do you think we will pay it?
No. Well, if it's an obligation to buy, look, I don't think we're daft.
Obligation or option?
Obligation, I thought it was.
Right.
A bit like a Ricky Alvarez situation again.
Oh, don't mention it. We're still paying for it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably be another court case soon, and that'll be another $5 million for him. It'll be like if, again, we've just mentioned it, it'd be like if Diallo came up. We know what we're getting from him, so you would pay it, wouldn't you? You'd just go, yeah, all right. We know what you can do for us, and we know the benefit of it. You know that. We
thought that with Barini.
Well, Barini was one of these daft. We do this a lot where we put all our eggs in one, but we used to do this a lot anyway. We put all our eggs in one basket and didn't look anywhere else and just chased Barini for 2 years instead of thinking, actually, he said no. Like, should we look somewhere else? No, we'll wait. Be fine.
Yeah.
We'll survive. And then went and got him, and he wasn't nearly half the player he was the first time round.
No, never are. The second dance never works.
No, I think there'll be we pay it. And it's a bit like if they said to us, "Oh, you can have Diallo for 10 or 15." You would probably go, "Is it a worthwhile thing?" Yeah, probably.
Can I play it? Can I play it just because it's here? Oh, it's beautiful.
It reminds me, and it's not similar in the slightest, but the way it hits the back of the net. Do you remember when Sessegnon's goal against Swansea? He did like a 1-2 on the edge of the box, and from that angle, side-footed it, and it landed straight in that top corner and ducked down as well. The way it hits the net and like drops back down is exactly the same as the way that did it. Just very similar sort of like trajectory of the ball, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he was a good player, Sessegnon. Is that it? Transfer-wise, there's not much.
Not much at this point, so that's it. You know, keep your eye out on the international teams, because who knows who you sign from international teams at overpriced value.
And hopefully none of our players get injured on international teams.
Well, there's no Brown going away. There's no, I don't think, is Hume and Ballard gone?
Brown's already injured, I think so, yeah.
Brown's not going away because he's already knacked anyway, but I think Hume's gone. I'm not sure Ballard would have gone if he's only just come back for us, but you never know. So let's just cross everything. No more injuries, because we're already on the bare bones for a couple of games when we come back.
Yeah. Connolly's not going anywhere. Don't worry.
Can he go with England? He's Irish, but can he go with England anyway?
No. Well, that's it. That's your transfer news.
Let us know if you've heard any transfer rumours.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let us know in the comments, and let us also know what you think of the potential of signing Henderson is. Do you think I want 2 answers in the comments. I want, would you have him, and will we get him for Henderson? So let us know in the comments what you think. Would you like to say goodbye, Conrad?
Cheers, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. It really does help us out because we're very new, very raw at this moment on here. So we're very raw. But we're trying to just grow as quickly as we can, get to 1,000 subs so we can start giving away some of these shirts that Mike's wearing. And holding. There it is. And holding as well. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and we'll catch you next time.
Yep. I can't iterate any more than he's already said. So, yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that wonderful stuff that the algorithm likes. And we'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.